Okay, and I think we are live. Hello, everybody. So I'm here in Hirafu in Niseko, in Japan, and it is snowing right now for the first time of the season. A couple of days before I arrived, there was a light dusting on the top of the mountain, but that was all washed away the other day, and particularly overnight with rainfall that happened. We had a lot of rain overnight here. But as the morning has awoken, the temperatures have dropped and that rain is now falling as snow. So in a minute, I'll turn the camera around on the laptop and I will show you what is going on outside. Today, the forecast is not a lot of significant snow, but it is due to keep sort of falling through the night. What are we today? Today's Thursday here. It's 12:30 midday. Friday is set to be more significant. I think one of the local weather forecast site, which is called Windy, which I've been told is fairly reliable, is forecasting around about 5 or 6 centimeters. But snow forecasts for mountain weather are so variable, you can never really take anything with 100% accuracy because weather changes all the time. Today, it's a couple of centimeters potentially, but there's a layer just starting to fall now. So let's turn this camera around and let's hopefully see if we can show you what's going on outside. So you can see the little light dusting just on our front porch there. And there you go. Please excuse the building work as a background image. But at the moment, there's not much else you can see. It's pretty white and grey. The mountain is covered. But yeah, if this keeps going on at the moment, this will put a nice sort of little thin layer. The temperature at the moment is hovering around freezing, and it is due to drop down to about -2, -3 this afternoon and into this evening. So that will aid the I guess the sort of the snow staying around, and then will help when it comes to sort of the bigger snowfall tomorrow. The outlook going into this weekend and the days into next week are the same, that we're going to get some more snow. So from this point on now, we kind of, within the resort, we need the snow to just keep continuing. And I'm still getting familiar with the climate of Niseko, but I'm told very much by the sort of the locals that we do from this point moving into late November, it's almost a pretty continuous bit of snow, so it helps us start. If you've not watched my previous vlog, I've mentioned that 2 out of the 4 village areas within Niseko are due to open on the 23rd of November. So that's not very far away now. In fact, what date is it today? That's the 14th. So yeah, it's about 9 days. And I'm just getting a message from Jamie, one of my mates, who says he's watching 3:30 in the morning in the UK, and you're watching me live, mate. So that's pretty good on your front. Big hand to you. So yeah, anyone else that's watching as well, feel free to pop up in the live chat to the right-hand side of your taskbar on the YouTube live stream. There's a little bit of sunlight as well breaking through, but we've got that lovely nice bit of a white cover, and there's a driveway out here as well as a porch, which here at the staff accommodations, that's going to be one of the big responsibilities to clean throughout the season in terms of keeping the place tidy. And the average snowfall in a season here in Japan is around 15 to 16 meters. Just to put that into context, for any of you that have skied in Europe, done a season working in Europe, the average snowfall you get in Europe in a season is anywhere between 3 to 5 meters. So we're looking, sort of 4 times as much snow, which is going to be new, something challenging to contend to. I've got some locals that are definitely wrapped up with their winter hoods and jackets on. Yeah, this is the first snowfall. I mentioned as well in the last video that this is the first time I've actually been into a resort where I've not, the snow's not actually been settled on the ground yet. There's a couple of holidays that I've been around Christmas time where there's not been that much snow to ski on, but this is the start of the season. We've not actually opened yet. There's hotels and management companies and shops always trying to do final bits of work. And this morning, that sort of building site outside, there was workers there about 7-8 o'clock in the morning trying to get things done before the snow came. So they've now packed up and gone. The other biggest thing today is the wind. So this morning we had quite strong gusty winds. It's a westerly wind, which is not the most ideal of sort of winds when you're coming to sort of winter weather. You usually want sort of a northerly or an easterly wind, so coming down, bringing the cooler air. But during sort of where we are at the moment with the climate as it is, and I mentioned the amount of snow that Niseko gets in a season, it's not something too much to worry about. So let's try another angle. I'll show you out the back of the other side of the house. And this is just looking out into the forest. And when it's not surrounded by total whiteout skies, at the moment it's actually pretty autumnal in terms of the colors. The mountain, Mount Yote, had some snow on it still from a couple of days ago, but that is due to get a lot bigger over the next few days, which is all very exciting. I should point out that this is the first time I've done a live stream, and so I might have some periods of silence or talking for quite long, so just bear with me. But I was trying to figure out initially how to do the live stream. The initial plan for this, in anticipation of the snow, was to do it off my phone, just do sort of the mobile live streaming through YouTube that way. But for some reason, YouTube doesn't let you live stream on your mobile unless you've got over 1,000 subscribers. So I'm a little far off that. But I suppose it's a nice little plug. If you are a first timer on the channel, feel free to go check out some of the other videos and go hit subscribe. And I don't have any of my cables, though, that sort of will work to use my camera or my GoPro for a live stream. So at the moment, I'm just using the webcam on the laptop. But it seems to be pretty good quality. If you believe so, if you think it's working, please just let me know in the comments. It's pretty gradual. It's nothing too large in terms of snowflakes. Occasionally you get the odd bit, but the wind, if anything, will not help things stick as much as it would, because it'll just be blowing things around. So let's find the latest forecast at the moment. And going in from about 6 o'clock tonight, windy.com is saying that we're going to be dropping down to around about 5 or 6 centimeters. This afternoon is only about 2 centimeters of snow falling, with a further centimeter late at night, but it's going into tomorrow afternoon where the snow will be significant, and then also on into Saturday and Sunday. Monday, the outlook actually at the moment is looking like we might get more rain beforehand, but usually when you look past 3 or 4 days on a forecast, that's not really too trustworthy. Jamie's just replied, just laughed at that. Had to Oh, fair play to you, Jamie, for being up at 3:30, mate. I can't remember if you'd said you were off, where you were off to this season. If you're off back to Austria, by all means, mate, go wake up the family and get them to come round and watch the rest of this stream if you want to. You're off to Meyerhofen, lovely Hof. A couple of good bars in there, mate. Bit of a party town. I was looking actually at the lineup for this year's snow bombing festival, which looks pretty decent. I think, if I'm right in saying, I think they've got Liam Gallagher as headlining. Let's just have a look. 2020. Yeah, Liam Gallagher, The Streets, Foals, Chasing Status, Rudimental, Big Nasty, and Corrupt FM. Yeah, well, Meyerhofen is a bit of a monster, but the amount of skiing that you can do all around the Zillertal area is pretty huge. Meyerhofen is just one of many different resorts down the actual Zillertal Valley on the train, which is a pretty cool one to do. I've not been on the train in the snow, but it'll be just one of many ways you can sort of get familiar within Meyerhofen. But all the best of luck with that, mate. The snow it's just letting off a little bit at the moment. I think probably it's going to be more worth checking back in with a live stream tomorrow that I'll think about doing. What else have we got going on? Some news to share. Good question. How large is the ski area in Niseko, and what resort height is it to the mountain? So there's 4 separate villages within Niseko. I'm in Hirafu, and all in all, you can buy a separate ski pass for each one of those, or you can also buy, what we call the area pass. Now, the area pass is called the Ski United Pass, and as far as I'm aware, the total thing is just over 50 kilometers of skiing. I'll just confirm that for you in a minute, but that might seem like not a lot in compared to, some of the areas that you can do in Europe. But the one thing that Niseko has over places like in Europe is the sheer quantity of snow. Yeah. So when you add up all 4 areas, which is Anupuri, Grand Hirafu, Hanazono, and the Niseko village, this is the biggest resort in Hokkaido. So Hokkaido is the North Island of Japan, and it's a total of 50.8 kilometers. And the height, again, not really actually that high as a mountain. The peak is, in fact, I've got a piece map that we can show with. So the mountain that it's on, Anupuri, is no more than, well, its exact height is 1,308 meters. So if you try and think about it in context of France, for example, you're looking around about the same altitude as somewhere like Morsey, which you think, okay, well then surely the snow would be a bit of an issue. But no, here the climate in terms of where Japan and the North Island sits on the jet stream, it gets so much snow. So here's the peace map. So as you can see, you've kind of got separate areas: 1, 2, 3, 4, and I am this one here. This is Hirafu. So this house is in the sort of little stretch of streets right here. As a map, when you look at it, it's not really like anything I've ever seen before in terms of the places I've been, simply because a lot of the areas I've been before are sort of interconnected resorts in big valleys, and so the map goes over multiple hills, but this is all on one mountain. And having not been to Niseko before, getting sort of your bearings and your orientation will only start to make sense when I actually get on the mountain, because from Hirafu's side where I am, when you look up, you can't really actually see any of the other areas. You can't see any at all. But one of the colleagues that has arrived went for a little bit of a jog around one of the bends. So it's a road that sort of hugs round the mountain. From there, you can start to see some of the other areas that were going on there. See, we've got a couple of other people that are on the chat at the moment. There's on the live stream rather. Hello to you guys. Please feel free to put a comment in the section. Let us know where you're watching it from. So our season gets going on the 23rd in terms of when it opens. One of the things that Niseko has as a big appeal as well is its night skiing. And that is pretty something spectacular to behold. And yeah, that's definitely on my list of things to do. Having been in a resort where there was night skiing last season and not taking advantage of that was a big regret for me. So rest assured, there'll be videos coming of night skiing. Other activities that you can do in Niseko, cat skiing is a big one. For those of you that don't know what cat skiing is, you have a piste basher, or the other names that they call them, a piste groomer or a snowcat. Has a big cab on the back where you can fit people inside. And what you'll do is you'll go off into the backcountry, into the mountains, and you'll be able to enjoy freshly untapped powder, most likely with a guide, so it's under safe conditions, and then just go off and have a fantastic day. So that is one of the things on my bucket list. That in itself is something that I've talked about in a separate video, some of the things that I want to do. Got to try and get my head around Japanese food. One thing I've learned over the last few days is that I won't be eating turkey at Christmas here in Niseko. The Japanese people at Christmas, they eat fried chicken, and apparently normally it is just everybody goes and gets KFC, and some of the KFC places actually in the cities actually have table bookings on Christmas Day. And the first time I heard that was like pretty gobsmacking. There is no KFC in the vicinity of Niseko. There's a town about 10 minutes down the road, the bigger town called Kuchen, Kutchan, which has some big supermarkets where we've got some of our stuff. But I think it'll be a case of us finding somewhere local. But the way they do chicken, don't think of it like from back in the UK where you're sort of getting chicken dippers and nuggets or big pieces of thighs or legs. It's just trying to think how I can liken it. It's a bit like getting very big when you go to a Chinese takeaway and you ask for either pork balls or chicken balls, it's kind of like that, except there is some, like, the frying is done in a separate way. But you'll just have to like watch a video when I do about Japanese food. So, other things going on in terms of the area as well. I suppose an interesting fact that I've found actually about Japan as a whole is already how polite and welcoming everybody is. Obviously, language is something which I'm hoping to sort of learn a bit of as we go thing, but just every time it's coming into the shops, there's politely bowing and saying hello and leaving with thank you. Arigato is thank you, so I've learnt one word already, which I'm sure I'll be using quite a bit. Just a bit of an update outside. It's now like that really thin, which you could basically call sleet. So nothing's exactly accumulating, and it's just windy. But what was I talking about? Talking about the people. Yes, all very friendly, and it's something hopefully I want to pick up some conversational Japanese. We've already been to one bar. It's called the Moon Bar, which is not too far away from here. We met one of the bartenders and sort of started trying to develop, some relationships, as it were, because as a seasonaire, you want to obviously find the places where you're going to get seasonaire discounts, but you want to also interact with the locals as well as finding places that you can go. Jamie says, what level of skier is the resort catered for? Mainly blacks, reds, etc. There are beginner areas in Japan, in Niseko. We've got some greens there, but and there's some greens in there as well. So in Niseko Village Resort and Niseko Anupuri, everywhere actually on the mountain does have greens. They are mixed in with a majority of red runs, I would say. In terms of how much these pistes are groomed and looked after, I don't know yet. But I came across a big depot with a lot of piste groomers, so they take that side of things seriously. The off-piste and the backcountry bits are separate. But I think if you came here, whatever your level of skiing, your challenge would maybe not so much be the gradient of the piste, for example, and more to do with the sheer level of snow, because that affects how fast you're going. It affects the effort that you put in when you're trying to turn. The best way I can sort of give as advice was my mum, who has skied for 30 years and is someone who likes to enjoy, she likes to enjoy, a nice gentle green run over by and have a coffee over inside and read the book, and then go off and maybe do that same run again. I don't particularly think you can do much of that here, but I could be wrong. And you'll have to wait and see until I give you sort of some more in-depth insights. But that's my initial perception of it. By all means, I am not saying that, okay, this is a resort only for expert skiers. If you're someone who never enjoys skiing in deep powder snow, and only wants to do pistes, you might not have very many days of that here in Japan, just because it'll be constantly snowing and there's loads of that to contend with. I hope that's answered your question, Jamie. Sorry if it waffled on a little bit. Hello to the 3 other people that are also watching along with Jamie. Okay, well, again, wind's picked up outside. Let's show you a little bit of what is going on outside. Just bear with me. So yeah, it looks a bit blizzzy, but at the moment we haven't got much in the way of accumulation. There's a little bit just coming up on the doorstep. Let's be brave and go outside for a few seconds. But I think this is going to be very cold. Ooh. Okay. So, yeah, here we are. A little bit of snow coming up there on there, and this is the stairs. So as you can see, but yeah, the air is cold. I've just got a bit of dust on the snow. So I'll be looking to try and do a lot of similar things like this when there's days where I can't potentially go outside and film, i.e. if it's a too heavy snow day, or maybe there's some cool discussion topics to do. Live streaming is something new which I'll be looking to do when I can. On top of the new ski news feature, there'll be a couple of those videos coming out in the next few days, just sort of talking about some of the latest topics and articles that have arisen within the ski news, because it's always nice to sort of stay in touch with what's going on. And then, of course, the vlogs themselves, of which, if you haven't seen any of them, feel free to go check them out and let me know what you think of those when you come across them. Okay, well, listen, for the moment, we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much to everyone that's come on board and watched. Thanks to Jamie for popping stuff in the comments section. I hope you enjoy Meyerhofen, and congratulations for watching this at 3:30 in the morning in the UK. That's one thing which I'm still getting used to, the time difference. So it's 9 hours ahead in Japan. So the easiest way to think about this is that when hang on, let me figure this out. So if it's 3:30, obviously this started about half an hour ago, which was 12:30. So it was 3:30 in the UK time. Because of the differences in times, when videos will be posted, they won't be that sort of a regular theme. They could be all sorts. So if you're a UK viewer, you could potentially wake up and find that there's a new video already uploaded, whereas before coming out here, it would have been sort of trying to watch it around 4 o'clock, 5 p.m. in the evening. Similar thing if you're watching it from the States, because I know we've got people that watch it from the States as well. But yeah, so it's 9 hours difference. But yeah, no, thank you very much for watching, guys. If you're new to the channel, head over and check things out. More snow likely tomorrow, so check back at the channel with some stuff then. And also feel free to go and head over to my Instagram page, because there's a couple of pictures of me exploring around the area of the village of Hirafu. So take care, everybody. Jamie, get back to sleep, and I'll see you soon. All right, bye.